The security situation on Israel's southern border is one of the key issues featuring in every Israeli election, and this one, of course, is no different. One of the most outspoken players in the political landscape is Education Minister Naftali Bennett, who split from his nationalistic Jewish Home Party to form a new alliance called the New Right with Justice Minister Ayelet Shaked. Now, he laid out what he wants to see done in Gaza here on I-24 News. Take a listen.
The current doctrine is that we'll deter them, but it's not working. They're not deterred. We bomb them and nothing happens. My thesis is different. I want to neutralize them, take away their weapons. In an operation, that's the first phase, but the real novelty is what happens afterwards, the ongoing phase, where I call it lawn mowing, meaning the very moment there's any sign of grass, any sign of a new terrorist, of a new factory, a missile factory, a rocket factory, we don't wait, we bomb it. We don't allow them to gain force and power in the first place.
And defence correspondent Daniel Tsemach joins me in studio, and also, of course, joined by our senior Middle East correspondent Mohammad Al-Kassim live. We're going to begin here in studio, Daniel. Let's just pick up on what Naftali Bennett said there. What does neutralising Hamas actually mean in practicality, and what's the impact of using such a policy there?
Well, what he seems to be suggesting is that Israel would need to attack Hamas, whether it be on the ground or even Israel does have the technology to do it without necessarily going into Gaza, but basically destroying their infrastructure, making them incapable of fighting back, destroying their manufactories, their warehouses, and everything that they could use in regards to weaponry to fight back against Israel. So practically speaking, it means destroying Hamas militarily and then leaving them so weak that they won't be able to fight back. Afterwards, it's a different story.
Right. Very, very briefly then, why has Israel never taken this kind of action in the past?
Because the next step is very complicated. Who fills that vacuum? Who fills that void? Is the Palestinian Authority? Is it Fatah? And issues that have happened in the past could resurface again. So it's a very complicated procedure. It's very likely that's the reason we haven't seen the current right-wing government taking action in that way. All
right, Mohammad, let's go to you. We've just seen a statement from the UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, Nikolai Mladenov, on the situation in Gaza. What can you tell us?
That's correct, Tracy. Mr. Mladenov issued a statement just a while ago, and in it there are a couple of important things that we need to focus on. First, that since last September, the United Nations, including its partners, have been able to put together $110 million that was sent to the Gaza Strip, and in the shape of either fuel, water, sanitation, electricity. That's extremely important. He also, Mr. Mladenov, did also say that Egypt and the United Nations are working together in trying to de-escalate the tension and violence between Israel and Gaza, and he calls on all parties to cooperate. He also said that $45 million are about to be delivered to Gaza in the shape of 20,000 temporary jobs, approximately 20,000 temporary jobs that will be created through the United Nations and its partners in the Gaza Strip. These are extremely important to go along with the Egyptian delegation efforts that has been intensely, put together by the Egyptian delegation. They're shuttling between Gaza and Israel, and they have been able to make some headway, even though very small steps, but they have been making some headways, and those are tangible steps that we are seeing it, either through increasing the fishing area on the Gaza Strip, or even increasing the number of trucks with cargoes and goods being delivered from Israel into the Gaza Strip.
Okay, Mohammed, thank you for that. I just want to ask you another question, Daniel, before we let you go. Despite this headway that's being made, we are seeing a boosted security presence in southern Israel.
Exactly. There was already an incendiary balloon launch that landed in Israel. The Palestinian has succumbed to his wounds from the protests on Saturday. Meanwhile, we are seeing the Israeli military taking physical action, physical measures in areas that are commonly attracted to by tourists. They're putting cement walls that are usually used to protect areas from shrapnel, from mortars. These are areas that are very often visited by tourists, by foreign tourists, and also an area that's oftentimes visited by journalists. Now we're seeing more physical barriers being brought there.